Hey, what's going on? I just wanted to share a quick video on setting up your GoHighLevel account initially, whether or not you're with NerdTech or you're directly with GoHighLevel. I have a few tips for you on what to get started with to make your time most efficiently used. So first, you're going to want to go to your settings when you're in, go to My Profile. And one of the most powerful features of GoHighLevel is just being able to simply create calendars and share them. So you're going to want to link that with your calendar settings. So underneath My Profile, when you scroll down, you'll have the calendar settings right here. And then Add a calendar, you're going to click Add New. And then it's going to ask you which type of calendar. You're going to select it. And then it'll walk you through the process of verifying to make sure it's you and that it connects to your calendar. Uh, then once it's connected, there'll be a separate section down here that says check for conflicts. You'll want to click into there and double check to make sure any other calendars associated to that connected calendar, it's checking for the conflicts that you would like it to. For instance, if you have a Google Calendar that has other calendars inside of it, say a personal calendar, a work calendar, a family calendar, then the check for conflicts you can check mark all those different ones if you want your scheduling to schedule around those so that it doesn't schedule over those. If there's anything on your calendar that you don't care if it schedules over because it's more just for notifications, then you'll want to uncheck that so it can schedule over that. So then also I'll take a note that on the email two-way sync that confuses a lot of people. I recommend not doing that. What this means is if you connect your Gmail or your Outlook, any emails even not related to any contacts that you have inside of your CRM, if you get an email to Gmail or Outlook and it's from grandma saying hello, it's going to automatically create her as a contact because it's a two-way sync. So it's going to sync all your emails coming in and out. To if you simply want to get emails just forwarded to your email, that's a different setting in the email services. But I recommend keeping this off so that all your emails don't create contacts inside of the system. The second thing you're going to want to do after you set up your calendar is you're going to want to start the A2P process. So you'll go to phone numbers, still we're in the settings. You can go ahead and buy a phone number. Phone numbers for A2P just means you're texting compliant, but you can go ahead and buy a phone number and you can use it for outbound calls and receive inbound calls. A2P does not affect that. To get A2P compliant, you're going to want to click on the Trust Hub or the Trust Center. First, you'll start with the brand. When you click when you click to start on that, it's going to walk you through your business name, your LLC EIN number, your LLC official LLC, the registered address. Some people mess that up. Make sure you input the exact address that's registered with the Secretary of State for your LLC, and then also make sure that when it asks you what type of messaging you'll be doing, just pick the low volume mixed messaging. That's the best one. So once you submit your brand, you can immediately start the campaign after that. On the campaign, it's going to walk you through different types of messaging examples. It's going to ask you what your opt-out message is, what your opt-in message is, what's your type of messaging you're going to be sending. When you go through that, it's going to give you examples on what is acceptable. I recommend copying those examples, pasting them in to the little box that asks you what type of messaging you're doing, and then uh, it will have some phony information such as my company name. It'll have a phony phone number, and some of them will require a website, and it'll have a phony website. Make sure you paste the information, but you replace the phony information with your actual business information. So the business name, the phone number, and the website. The website's super important. On the website, you'll want to make sure you have a form that's opted in and that shows your privacy policy on there. If it doesn't have that, it will fail. And I'm going to show you the best thing to do is to go back out of settings, click on sites, click on forms, and just click on add form. It's going to create a new one. I already have an example here. When it creates a new form, it's going to automatically start like this. So it basically shows you what a compliant form looks like for A2P. I recommend using this exact form. If you already have one on your website, what you're going to do is have your web guy, you're going to copy this code right here. You're going to paste that code in an email, send it to your web guy, and tell him to replace your current website form with this form. I would do that anyways because regardless of A2P, if you already have a website, you're going to be able to funnel leads directly into the system using the GoHighLevel form. You're not going to have to use Zap or anything to connect it. So it's going to be very nice. Now, I recommend, so to get A2P approved, phone number, if it's required, uncheck it. Email doesn't matter. And then it needs to have these two boxes, and saying this exact wording is going to be perfect. Now, for the privacy and terms of service, you're going to want to click in the white space to select that section. You're going to want to highlight each one of these and click the three dots, click the link, and link in your privacy policy and your terms of service. If you have a website, you likely already have a link to that at the bottom footer of your webpage. If you don't have those, you could have ChatGPT write you a simple one. Should work. In order to make it a public link, you can save it in a Google document, make sure it's shareable public, and then you can just link that to a Google document as well. So that's perfectly acceptable. Make sure you have something like this form. I recommend just using this form exactly. After you are A2P approved, I have personally gone back and made the phone number required, made these checkboxes required. I actually just have one instead of two, consolidated them, and have simpler wording. But I recommend using exactly this to get approved and then modifying it afterwards, and you should be okay for that. So calendar setup, A2P, buying a phone number, those are the main things that you should start with when you open your account. And then after that, I recommend going into opportunities, taking a look at the different pipelines and stages if you have some. If you don't have some, start creating them. If you got a setup from me, NerdTech, let's say it's a real estate snapshot, then you can go into pipelines right here. You can see what all the pipelines are, and you can even edit them here as well. I recommend, if we haven't had a call, to not delete any of these yet, because you likely don't know what the automations are that's going on between them, but it doesn't hurt at all to add any. So if you like my process, but you want a few more steps, let's say in the seller pipeline, you want a few more steps, you can add some more stages here, and adding stages is not going to hurt anything at all. So those are the initial things I recommend starting with, and I hope that helps.